Right here, one stock that didn't participate in today's broader market gains, Apple. Will the company unveil something at its Worldwide Developers Conference next week that could give the stock a boost? Let's find out from the one and only boy genius, Jonathan Geller, founder and editor-in-chief of BGR.com. He joins us now with his take on Apple's new mobile operating system. Jonathan, great to see you. You actually have a list of different features you think this new mobile OS will have. What's top on the list?
It's more about Apple refining their operating system, making it more like an actual OS and not a mobile OS. They're doing a lot of UI stuff, so they're changing the colors of the theme. There's a very public spat with Google, and they're switching their mapping to their own solution. Heavy play on 3D, ease of use, possibly location-based services and profiles. So really they're updating it and they're also upgrading at the same time.
So it's more evolutionary. Do you think that this could be any sort of catalyst for buyers of products to come in? Will this be a motivation for people to buy new Apple products, or will it not really make a difference because people are going to buy a tablet, people are going to buy an iPhone no matter what?
You know, I mean, we haven't seen it yet. I'm sure there's a lot up their sleeve. From what I've seen, it's very interesting, and it's more about them sort of getting these little checklists of low-hanging fruit, knocking things off the list, and definitely going, you know, par to par with Android, making sure they're feature complete as well.
Hey, Jonathan, so as traders here, we care about whether or not there's going to be incremental revenue to Apple on this. From the user's perspective, is there anything that you've seen so far that you would say, hey, you know what, somebody's going to spend an extra $1 with their Apple phone that they have already without buying anything else?
Well, I think it's important to also know this is a preview of iOS, which will come out in the fall, most likely with an iPhone as well. So there is a hardware component. This is their software conference where they'll show iOS 6, Mountain Lion, which they've also announced. So I think there's definitely a big hardware component. I'm not sure if anyone would go out and buy an iPhone for iOS 6 because you can update it on the current devices, but definitely hand in hand with the new hardware coming, I think absolutely.
What is this iCloud keychain that syncs with the devices? That sounds pretty cool.
So this is something that I thought they'd possibly be interested in doing, and that's taking your keychain, which is all of your secure passwords from your computer, and having it work on your device. You never have to really sign in. It just keeps syncing all of your secure information.
That sounds like a security nightmare. I mean, if somebody steals that keychain,
it's already on all of your computers now. So it is, if you use a Mac, it's their system that they use, which is very secure. So that's something they could use to carry over their whole cloud initiative.
So let me ask you, as both a Google holder and a Apple shareholder, what do you think of this Google losing potentially the map function to
I think
Apple?
the Maps is big. I think privately Google is definitely nervous about it from things I've heard. I think Apple's also assaulting them from a number of different ways, including Siri. By having that as something in front of the user going to do a Google web search, Apple is now positioning themselves to take all that information away from Google. There's no Google AdSense revenue.
Google looking to do the same thing for their Android?
They are, but again, they're late to the party, and they might not have that polish. The latest thing we've seen on Android is that their growth has been declining, especially in April. I think the lowest since 2009. So the momentum's definitely in Apple's favor, and I think Apple has the capability of doing it a lot better than Google at this point.
All right, Jonathan, thanks for stopping by. We always appreciate it. Jonathan Geller of BGR.